And here we are. We're live again. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Welcome in our, I would say between the two times, Election Day and tomorrow being 11/11 and the gateway that will be opening up on, I love 11/11. It's my favorite day. My girlfriend's granddaughter was born 11/11/11.
Wow.
And she will be 11 this year.
Wow.
And so I know. I get the goosebumps, and yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? So I want to say hello to everybody. I want to say hello. First of all, say hello to our panel. We have Joan, Wisdom Seeker Joan, with us today, who's still enjoying the beautiful Mexican coastline and doing a lot of things outside. So that's wonderful for you. And we have Mark. Hi, Mark. How are you doing? Who's on your shirt today, dear?
Mermans.
Mermans. Oh, wow. I love it. It's awesome. And of course, we have Thayer. Thayer from New Mexico. I guess Michelle Lujan Grisham won again. Yeah.
Our state did really well. Our state did, I think, mostly all Democratic.
That's
Excellent.
fabulous. Yeah,
So,
that's fabulous.
You know why? Because I think all the women voted.
All the women, yes.
for pro-abortion.
So I'll show you my shirt that I have on, and it was the tower, but it was Smash the Patriarchy.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of women did in a lot of places. So, yeah. So I'm glad to be here with you.
Weirdly, I mean, really? That guy beat her by that much? I don't. In Georgia.
Marjorie Greene.
No, not her, but
Abrams.
Yes.
Abrams. Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, no,
they don't add up or something. It's not something as funky. I don't know, but what can you say?
I get it. Just like all the redistricting and the gerrymandering in Florida just made it absolutely crazy.
Well, Trump is very smart, because if we accuse, like, say, Kentucky of cheating, then he'll go, see, they think it's cheating too. So he's very clever, and where he puts you sort of in this corner where if we did go after some places for cheating, he would say they admit that the elections are wrong then.
Yeah,
so
I know.
He's a genius that way.
Yeah, that's for sure. We have to stay with what we've been saying all along. Yeah. That makes it hard. It does. I understand.
Well, Spirit told me there would be cheating, but it also told me they're going to expose themselves. So I'm just keeping that thought.
Yep. In Texas, especially, I'm getting. In Texas, it's those three at the top that won again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Overconfidence.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for sure. Hello, butterflies are free. Okay. Thank you, dear. So I want to say hello to everybody. I want to say hello to, let's see who we got here. We got Bridges and Stitches. Could you please give us your daughter's first name so that when we get to the question, we can have it ready for us? That's a cute name, by the way, Bridges and Stitches. We have Viviani and Gina and Emerald Buddha. Hi, Craig. I bet you're glad that New Mexico went Democratic. Let's see. Viviani, Lise. Hi, Pierrette, and Wiki, and Hypnicity. Try to get Lady Silver, Mary Ellen Jenkinson. Hi, Anita. I want to make sure I get everybody. Thanks so much. Thanks for all being here. Emerald Buddha, if I didn't get your name. Oh, hi, Miranda Patel from Facebook. Hi, Ivana. And Linda Thompson, Watcher 9997. Welcome, everybody. False Teeth, hi, Melinda. It's good to see you all. I see that everybody, and Sweet and Salty, I see everybody kind of made it through the week. And we're all still just waiting for several states to finish their hand counts, which, hi, Kelly, is crazy. Anyway, so I had asked on my community page for people to write down what kind of questions they might have that come from spirit. And so if anybody here has any that you can think of now, that's fine. I also see Stitches and Britches has a question up already. So the question I want to ask our panel or discuss with our panel was actually put up last week, but it was so late in the show that I didn't get a chance to go to it, but I love the question. Okay. So the question in that was, how do I contact my higher self? How do I know it's my higher self? That whole ball of wax. So I'm going to open it up to the panel and anybody else that would like to have any questions. Then go ahead and put them up for me. Thank you. Okay, Kathleen. All right. Thank you, Britches.
Kathleen. So how do you get in touch with your higher self? That's the question.
That's the question. Or yeah, how do you get in touch with it? How do you know it's your higher self?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me at least, I consider my higher self as intuition. And sometimes it is more of a gut feeling, almost a solar plexus feeling.
Yeah.
And just start asking little things. Just, should I have a salad or a hamburger for lunch today or whatever? And or if a question comes up, tune in to your solar plexus. Say, what should I do? What's in my best interest here? And should I go this way? And if you get kind of that icky feeling, then it's a no. And it just like everything else takes practice to do it. But that once you kind of tune into that, then it's there to guide you all the time. Other people use different ways. Some people do automatic writing, and not like fully channeled or whatever, but just write something down with one pen, write the question down, and then you pick up a different pen or a pencil or something in a different color and write the answer. And again, you have to kind of get over yourself and let, kind of tune in first and see what happens. But I've been having some luck with that lately too. What do you think there?
Let's talk. I'll tell you what I think the higher self is, and it's your soul self. It's your source self. It's the energy that you kind of come from. I mean, your soul can be in many different places at the time. If you think of your soul in different ways, but so the higher self is the soul self, and all energy healing that I've studied, it's about if you raise your arm up, that opening is about right up there. That's sort of where I imagine it or focus where it is. And, when Joan was talking, remember when you were a kid and you just had that stream of thought going through and you were getting impressions. That's really, you're really connected to your soul self as a child. And there are many different methods and ways and disciplines. I tried meditation and hated it. There are many different processes to connect with your soul self and your higher self. And it's sort of like trying on shoes. You're going to have to try on or find different methods for the one that fits with you. But it's just like what Joan said, is that it is really the gateway to your higher self is your intuition, is your feeling. And I would just sit every day and feel. And that and it doesn't matter if you're not breathing correctly or that you're wondering about what you're going to have for dinner. It's opening up sort of that heart and feeling. And the New Age community calls it the higher self, but it's really your soul. It's your soul self. So I would dig into many different methods or find somebody that you want to work with. And it's really practice. And it already talks to you. I think you just have to differentiate, like my mother told me I had to be polite and nice. Well, my soul self went, but so it's sort of what you've been trained to do, and then what your natural self is. And I'm sorry to go on, but as you get older, your soul self comes clearer and clearer. It's a part of maturity. That's not for everybody. Some people are totally connected with it.
And
So
I just like to jump in. Excuse me. I really want to emphasize what you're saying about the soul self, because your higher self is the soul self. And so it's been through every incarnation with you. Like some of your guides, your guides you might have been married to this guide 5 times or something, or been friends or something in 6 lifetimes. But your soul self, your higher self, has seen it all however many lifetimes. So they know that it's you in, I would say duplicate, triplicate, but there's not enough numbers to say everything about you. And so that is a really good source. And if you wanted to, one of my early mentors was Echo Bodine, and she's written a book called Intuitive Living. And everybody in her family was psychic, and her mother taught her from a young age, well, I want to do this. Well, what does your tummy say about that? Focus in on what your gut is. And so from an early age, she learned to follow that. And there's some tips in that book. And also she's got a podcast called Intuitive Living. But however you tap into it, it's there for you, and it's powerful.
Everybody, excuse us, Mark, for everybody's got one, and everybody can hear it and listen to it. It's just finding your way, finding your own way to it. Good luck. I mean, when I talk to it, I always see it as up above, and I've gotten a lot of Buddhist practices, to do, and I always draw from right up where my hand is. I imagine that as my energy source there.
Beautiful. What do you think, Mark?
Allie, one time when my screen was looking like that, I just wiped my finger on the camera lens and it changed. Like I don't know, like I had dust on it or something.
Okay.
That's
a little better.
A little better. I think it might be that I have this going too.
Oh, is it humidifier?
No,
it's incense. But it does look a little better. You're right. Not so smoky.
One time I was like, well, what is my, and then I went, maybe I should clean my. Well, for me, it's there with you all the time. You didn't come without it. It's been there since you came. The first and easiest way it talks to everybody is something called conscience. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because these days, a lot of people act like they never heard of one or they never had one, but trust me, you did. And it's what usually comes through when you're about to do something and it goes, wait a minute, are you sure you want to do that? Or are you sure that's what we're going to?
Yeah.
And you hear it, and either you ignore it or you don't. But that's the easiest way, and that's the way you've heard it since you were little. And so everybody's heard it, They might not recognize it or know what it is, but that's really your higher self, or your whatever you want to call it, reminding you who you are and that you're looking to create more love and good on the earth. It's always reminding you that. So that's the other thing. It always feels good when it talks to you. So feeling wise, it couldn't be more positive. It never feels limiting, angry, any of that stuff. It just feels good. It feels positive on your side, like that. So if it doesn't feel like that, it's probably not your higher self. And then you just practice with it, like the girls were saying, like with everything. And, if you seek it, you'll find it. It's going to be given to you. So, if you ask Source for that connection and that you're able to understand it and hear it better, it will happen because it won't be denied to you. So those are little things that I think help you connect to that. Like girls were saying, it's already communicating with you. So either you have to deliberately not hear, like you can say no. But if you're asking to hear, you'll just hear it stronger and stronger and stronger because it wants you to listen. So as soon as it knows you want to and you're seeking that, it'll go, okay. Because remember that thing of where you have to, from this point, you have to push the button, I always say, to initiate it. Spirit's already there and it's just waiting for us in our consciousness to choose it.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm going to give you my thoughts, and then there's somebody in the chat that brought up something that has to do with this topic, so I'll show it to you. I pulled a card that says, I trust in my gifts. Well, I thought to myself, okay, we all have this gift. We have an oversoul, and in that oversoul, everything is known, including our past lives and our future lives, the Akashic records and so forth and so on. I think that we doubt ourselves so much. And when we do, we're not trusting in our gifts. And so trusting the gut, trusting that you're hearing from a higher source that's higher than you. And I just love all the other answers that came. And I think it can be very individual, but it is that still small voice. And again, conscience or gut instinct. You're walking somewhere and you feel uncomfortable and you need to do something about it. You don't want to keep walking down that path if that's the case. So thank you. Thank you for that. Mitz, who's here from Queensland. Welcome, welcome. Australia. She says her question is whether the higher self is the same thing as your spirit guides. And if they're not the same, then how do you communicate with a spirit guide? So I'm going to leave that one open. There are other people that have questions before this, but I wanted to just keep it all in one area for this, just because we're talking about this topic.
I think spirit guides are a little bit different. As I mentioned, they may be people that you knew in past lives and were close to or whatever, who have agreed to help you out this time. And some people say that like you have one main spirit guide and then others that are brought in. Oh, you want to learn about painting or you want to pursue this or that. It's okay. We're going to get you guides that will help you with specific areas that you want to explore. But there's let's see, spirit guide versus oversoul is that I think one of the things I've read is that your primary spirit guides are really there to help you with complete the tasks on your life contract, on your soul's contract for this life. Yeah, they'll warn you if the bus is coming, if you're about to step in front of the bus or whatever, and that kind of thing. But that's the primary spirit guide's primary goal is to kind of help keep you on the path toward completing whatever you signed up for this life. And then, okay, I want to take up ice skating. Well, we'll have the ice skating guide come in and help you with that or whatever. And as far as how you tell the difference, it's kind of hard. Maybe somebody else can speak to that a little bit more.
I can't tell the difference really in terms of who's talking to me and guides and everything. It's if you go to the law of one, we're actually all the same and we're all talking to the same energy. And my focus has always been to develop my intuition, to develop my stepping back and listening, taking the risk of going out. Whatever intuitive or voices I hear, they've always been right. They've always guided me the right way. I've always made great decisions. I don't have different guides for different things. I ask for help on different things, but it always comes in the same way. So, and I can't tell who's talking and who's not talking. I think it's a very interesting question, but in terms of intuition and listening and the flow of energy, for me, labeling things chokes me, So I think that's me. And I think that the more you delve into your relationship with your intuitive and you're connecting to the energy flow, the more you'll be able to figure out what, I get sometimes I get the same information, but I get it differently. And I know Susan Lynn's got, Edward R. Morrow smoking her out of her apartment, you know, or her house, like go for it. When I smell smoke, it's, anyway, it is a good question, but I try not to label stuff because then I feel like I'm back in school for right or wrong.
And you're willing to listen to everything as well, it sounds like.
Everything that comes in, whatever I'm getting, it comes in. Yeah.
Okay. Because you've allowed it.
Yeah.
One thing too that I get as far as the intuition part and what I call it the overjone, or the oversoul part is it's more of a gut feeling, and then I get like psychic mediumship and other kind of communication in more third eye. So it's like third chakra and third eye. So it's the feeling versus the tuning in on the higher chakras too. But one way to do it is to try to get over the questioning and just write down the feelings or whatever you do get, so that you have a record of it, and then you can go back and say, maybe I was just kind of practicing, and those things maybe I was just making up, but this is right. And then when you find that, okay, how did I feel when was that a gut feeling? Was that a third eye feeling? Was that a crown chakra feeling? Was that a knowing? What, how did that get in?
Yep.
Mark.
Any other?
Okay.
Mark?
Well, to me, the higher self, or the whatever, I can't remember what she called it in the question. Your soul.
Yes.
Same thing to me. And it's really like, that's in you. That's you. And it, a lot of times I call that like, it's the part of you that holds that blueprint for you that you might follow and realize in this lifetime. So it kind of holds, and I feel like you worked it out before you got here. And so it's there trying to remind you of what you wanted to do. And it's really you. It's the highest version of you. The guides are different, even though we're all one, and I completely get that. But they are individualized aspects of source, just like the four of us are individualized aspects. And so are they. They function on a different plane, like they're in the spiritual realm. And it's like they have a job. I know it sounds odd. That's what I always get. And it's to assist and aid and guide people on the earth plane to realize more fully, their spiritual self. And so they're a little different. So I always think they're kind of outside of me, even though we're all one.
Right.
When I'm listening, that's more out here. Higher self is more within.
Inside. Yes.
And then if I have a particular guide, like, I work with guides, they told me who they were. Now, at first, I'm like going, okay, well, whatever. But after a while, they keep insisting this is who I am. I am Jesus. I am Pan. I am Dwaku. And eventually, I begin to go, well, they don't really lie about anything else. Why would that be something they would want to? And, so I just think this is what I call myself in this individualized version of source. Because they always talk about I'm source. But I'm a visualized version of it. And I have service to do it. So that's the difference for me. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm going to leave it there because I don't have anything to add to it. I think that you all have explained it so well, and I hope that has answered the question. And again, it can be also something that you personally believe in that works for you, because everybody's got different gifts, even though we have all those things accessible to all of us. But we have to be open to them and accept them and ask, especially for your guides and angels, you have to ask for them to help you. Otherwise, they don't butt in. So, all right. I just want to put this up here. Cindy Riddle says, hello from Kentucky to you, Mark. She's had a gift since she was 2. Her dad was a minister, so she kept it hidden. She just would like some confirmation. She has so many guides, so many people's energy hanging on when she goes to the store that she's decided to become a hermit. So I would say, let's give Cindy a little bit of something to protect herself so she doesn't feel that way, if possible.
Well, there are many different ways to do an energy cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like you're empathic, and I use the Paralander method, where I do an energy cleansing. And before we did this broadcast, you want to do a protective prayer. So all the energy is for your highest good. And that's something I would look into to find ways that is good for you to do an energy cleansing. The Paralander method at the Center for Nature Research has a great protocol. It's written down. I use it all the time. That's what I would recommend. But, if you have a light, there's going to be lots of moths coming to roost. And at first it's really cool, and then it's just a drag. So I hear
a lot of people sucking out your energy. So yeah.
And I like to spend a lot of time alone so I can listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's a reason a lot of us don't like hanging out in big crowds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Melinda's right. Cut the cords and release them. Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joan.
Before any meditation or anything like this, I always do a clearing, clear my mind, clear my body, clear my aura, clear my soul, and then put a bubble of protection around me. I think Jen of Jen's World Tarot does a pretty intense protection method on her Monday meditation videos, putting up shields and mirrors and all kinds of stuff. So it's, again, whatever works for you. But yeah, or calling in Archangel Michael or whomever you want. But just to clear and protect in whatever way works for you, to just make it a habit.
Yeah. And remember that you get to set up the rules and the ground rules. You're not just like a victim. You can set up the rules. You can say, I'm open for this time period, and then this time I'm not. And I'm not going to carry it around with me or anything. So I have to set boundaries for myself. And, just set them. You just say it and set them. The other thing is, I don't like crowds either, but it's not really about spirit energy. It's about human energy.
Yeah.
I
think that's what she means too.
Yeah,
though.
Yeah, I get overwhelmed by that. It's not so much there's less. Now it's like, oh, there's too many people thought and stuff just overwhelm me. I don't know. But and then you can carry like crystal in your pocket.
It's true.
Or I use sage a lot, and it really helps me. I don't.
Yeah.
It seems so simple, but it really does a lot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other kind of tools that you can find from all different
You
people.
can also, if you can't do the smoke, you can do the spray. This is like Palo Santo, and then there's Nag Champa. And have you got sage? Yeah.
I've got sage, lavender and sage smudging spray. Yeah.
It really does help get your aura cleansed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And put do grounding too. Imagine a cord going from the base of your spine all the way to the middle of the earth, and know that you can walk and it'll go with you. But that can help too.
Yeah. I think I got worse since I was staying home during COVID than I was before that, because I was always going out and doing things. I didn't like going to the mall or anything, but I could deal with, the grocery store. I can't even do that anymore. I usually end up having Amazon deliver my groceries because I don't want to go out. Oh, you have MS and are in a wheelchair as well, Cindy? Well, then you really need to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I got my spray, Penny, I believe on Etsy, but I also think you can get it on Amazon. I'm not sure, or a metaphysical store possibly. Yeah. Oh,
It's,
yes. And the violet flame protection also helps.
it's
Yes.
kind of a newer product of sprays. Yeah.
I use this emergency trauma solution. It helps clear things. It's from the
You
Parallax.
just spray it around your head like an aura.
I take like 15 drops.
Oh, okay.
And that helps. It everything's like an electrical connection. You have to find your own way.
Yeah.
You do.
You do. But
the Bach flower remedies are also really well. You take them under your tongue.
Yeah.
You can get them for your pets, and you can also get them, and you can get that like in any health food store. And one of them is a stress remedy. You can get that as well.
Rescue remedy.
Rescue. Thank you. And they're just based on flowers and how those flowers help you. So it's very natural, just so you know. Yeah, it works. It works well, but you got to find out what works for you, Cindy. So you might have to
do research and look into to see what kind of you feel resonates with you. You know, like, would I like to use flower essences? Do I like crystal? You know, that kind of thing, and see what works for you.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Saltwater blue empath protection spray. See, and Amanda Carroll says Amanda Ellis, who the Metatron lady, she has a whole bunch as well. And Rescue Remedy works for hypnicity. And look at that. Mark's meditation works for you. That's very nice, sweet and salty. Yeah. Yep. Oh, this is a great idea too. Yes, Deb, yours is. Thanks, everybody, because it is individual, and you'll find the one for you.
Energetic hygiene is very important. It is, if you are, especially the more you develop, you have to pay attention to that.
That's right.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. No worries. Emergency trauma spray is interesting, Lise says. I'll keep these ideas in mind. Going to a psychic fair. Yes, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to go to the regular questions now. Britches and Stitches had this question up first. Someone has tried to get her daughter, Kathleen is her name, attention. For the last few days, she's been hearing someone talking to her, but she's scared because when she has reached out, she sees auras. So I wonder, is she an older child or a younger child? I'm just going to ask that question. But otherwise, we'll see what we can come up with for you. Yeah.
I automatically think that you should get a medium or somebody who is more experienced with energy communication and have her work with that person to try to figure out what's going on. Because I see two things happening. That she sees auras and somebody's trying to get her attention. So to sort out how to receive that energy in a healthy, clear way.
Especially if she's a youngster. I don't know how old she is.
I had to hire a medium.
Oh, she's 26. Okay, but she's had this for several years.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I had to hire somebody to help my daughter, who's very, very psychic, learn how to manage all the energy and what to do and what not to do. And it helped her. That's energetic hygiene.
Okay. Melinda seems to think it might be grandma energy. I don't know if that resonates or not, but I'll let you others answer this if you wish.
I'm getting a feeling that it's not a prankster spirit or a malevolent spirit of any kind, that it is a loving energy. But if it scares her, I would agree to get someone to be in, some medium or a psychic that you trust to kind of be an intermediary. Okay, what else for Kathleen? She could try working with a pendulum to put her in control a little bit. See if that might help her, because when all of a sudden you start hearing and seeing things, it can be frightening. And at least if you're the one that's holding the pendulum, you get to ask the questions and decide, what it is that you want to allow in. Anyhow, somehow I just thought using that tool like a pendulum might put her in a more of a position of control.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm hearing that it's more. I know. I'm hearing that it's more like a deceased person, like
Mm-hmm.
like mediumship, that
Yeah.
kind,
Yeah.
rather than like a particularly like a spirit guide or something like that. Although deceased loved ones can also guide you, but so it feels like that to me. And I feel like um, that's been like upped. Your abilities have increased, like a lot of other people's have. They get the chariot too. So that to me is like things are on the move. You're moving along with it. But I did get the three of coins, which is, kind of what these two were saying, that, it wouldn't be bad to seek out somebody's advice or like what you're doing today, actually. But that kind of thing. It's time to sort of check in with somebody else, to
Mm-hmm.
double check yourself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a lot more of the Page of Cups. There's more in store. I The Page of Cups too tells me that it's a loving message. It's not really like scary, monster or something. I mean, I could see
Mm-hmm.
you go, "Ooh, what's that?" or whatever, but it's not. I don't think it's malevolent. Just like
Malevolent. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
saying, it's more of a. It's like they realize you have this gift, and they're just trying to communicate.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get the same feeling. I get the feeling that they want her to they want to come in because they're somebody close to her, and they're hoping that that won't frighten her. I get that they love her very much, and that they're there with her. And if you're saying that somebody's sitting on the bed, that's pretty interesting. And it is a loss. It's someone that has been lost. And I think that they just really want to say, you've got gifts. Use those gifts creatively.
Yeah.
Use the gifts creatively. Yep, I
Yeah.
do. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
maybe she can just set the rules, as we were talking about earlier. Say, I don't want to see the
Mhm.
auras.
Yeah.
Come to me in my dreams.
Yeah.
Give me a message in my dream, or do whatever it is.
Right.
I'll be sitting here with a light on in my room from noon to
Mhm.
2, and and come in and put a thought in my head. But
You have
Yeah.
Yeah.
let them know how you want, or how she wants to receive it.
It's like you get to steer the ship. You have to learn if this is coming in, you need to learn how to steer the ship. So you're not it's not bothering you. You can control it.
I'm
So
comfortable
you
with
want to
this,
be on the
not with
show?
that.
Come on out of the
Yeah.
show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Good luck.
right.
Good luck.
I just want to pass this along. Kelly Bowman said she wanted to let us know that the last two people that were involved in the murder of a 10-year-old girl, which was her husband, he was in that investigation, and he testified before he retired
Oh,
as a
yeah, I remember
police
this.
officer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mother got 12 years today for her role, and last month her boyfriend got 36.5 years last month. And she just wanted you to know, all of you to know, because her husband's finally able to sleep
Oh,
now.
I remember
We're glad
that.
to hear that.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
We're
Yeah.
glad to hear that, Kelly. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. That's always important. And I'm glad that the little girl hopefully now can rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Thanks for letting
they,
us know. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. I remember that too.
I
And
remember
yeah.
that.
he went forward and testified and did what he felt to do,
Yeah.
even though he was.
Yeah, he wasn't able to sleep for a long time. Yeah, it was really hard for him. I'm
Thank you
glad that he's doing
to him.
better. Yeah,
Thank you for his service.
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah. That's an aspect of police work we don't think about a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Hypnicity Nalani said she finds out that she has the Star of David in her natal chart. What would her guides like to do with it? I looked it up, and it is a sacred symbol to Jews based on the horoscope of King David, who was said to have been born with two fortunate grand trines interlocked to create a six-pointed star. It's a very favorable pattern in astrology because it links the qualities of quadruplicity together, all the earth signs or the fire signs in 120-degree relationships. So it's very, very good. And so having this, just for you, that because I'm not a big astrology, person that knows everything about astrology either, but I would say that this is a very fortuitous sign, that you are doing what you should be doing on your path. But I'll let the others comment as well.
Well, I'm getting two things. One is the triangle, is a very solid energetic symbol. And to have two of them laid up upon one another, to me, is stability. It's divine stability. The pyramids are a triangle. Apparently, on the 1111, the triangle sign is very important. To put that up to your heart. It is a gateway or a portal into many things, and it's a sign of energy, stable energy. So I feel like it's a form of stability for you. And power.
Yep. And Diana Bowles, who does astrology, just weighed in and said it was very, very much a strength. For
strength.
Her.
Yeah.
It's a strong thing.
It's a strong thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't want to get into an argument with you. Just kidding.
I know what my sun sign is, and that's about it. I don't know a lot about astrology, but just tuning in on it, I was thinking about, I got the idea about sacred geometry too. And then the thought that kept coming to me was, people who are into genealogy, and find out I was related to the Queen of England or something like that. That this is different than that. It's not something that, I'm special because my ancestor all these years ago did this or that. This is something that comes down through the ages, and it's something real in you right now. Well, just like the genes from the Queen are there, but this is different. It's more of a potential, but it's not like I'm so special. It's more of a feeling of keep this in your heart and know that you are special, and that you are that you have the strength, and that it's kind of there to help you know that you have this potential, and it's what I see is like it's there in your heart as sort of an energy generator, metaphorically speaking, to kind of help you keep the vibe up, and it's just a way of knowing that
connection.
And so it's sort of like a spontaneous energy machine, or some a vibe generator, something like that. So I don't know exactly what you could do with this, except to know that it's there, and that it's a power that you can tap into to connect spiritually.
Lorraine said to look at the houses that hold those points. That may give you some idea what pieces that you need to look at. Yeah. Wow.
Great.
Thanks, Viviani. Have a good night. Anybody else? I just say it's just another tool in your toolbox, dear.
Yeah.
I really do. And I think it's fabulous. So, yeah.
Cool. I just pulled one card because I don't know anything about it. And it just says truth. So it just makes me think that David, Star of David, is about truth seeking, or holding the truth for people to see. So I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yep. All right. Thank you, dear. Wiki, aka Vicky, was raised as a Catholic. She is curious to know, what is the nature of the Holy Spirit? That's pretty strong. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. That's a holy trinity. The triangle.
Triumvirate. Yeah.
Is coming up again. But let me.
Well, I know what Master Jesus has told me about that, so I'll just share that.
Yeah.
Because he's saying, yeah, just share that. So it's kind of like, Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit. So the Father is source. The Son is you and me, son, daughter. It's not just male. And the Holy Spirit is what Jesus tells me he channeled on earth. So it's like this Christed energy,
Mm.
kind of light body. Like, again, here we go with the word blueprint, but like a blueprint for humanity that you can work with, or like he said to me, it was like him channeling the energy, or becoming one with this light being that he was helping to introduce to the earth in his life. But it's something we can tune into. So it seems different. It's separate than Jesus, because Jesus was a person. And it comes from source like everything else, but it's like in between, and it's like the spiritual, I'll just say it's the spiritual blueprint for humanity, and it's between source and man.
It's your soul self.
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit is your soul self.
There you go.
And the manifesting of the teachings of Christ and the teaching of pure Islam to be manifested on earth. And the Holy Spirit is really what guides you. It's sort of your guidance, and the teachings of Christ is part of that guidance.
Yeah.
So what came to me was that biblical saying, and I'm not I'm not a Bible thumper or anything, but I've heard that, that which I can do, so can you, was said by Christ. So yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those things by connecting with his higher self, or by connecting with that spiritual, that's like your higher self. And that's how he was able then to do miracles, because he could do more than just him, because he was connected with this higher version. And that's why he always said, it's not me, you can do it too. Here, I'll show you. But it's so that you can, you can do this. Of course, people are like, didn't quite get it, but but
still don't get it.
Through this connection or this relationship. Anyway.
Yeah. Fabulous. Yep. Thank you. That was a great question. Thanks for these questions today.
I want to add too is that we're all built differently. We all have different energetic, the way we receive and the way we move through life is very different. And all of these questions are the same, but they're different, where you kind of have to find your own way. And you do that by asking questions, by opening up, by learning, by experimenting, because, the whole, that Christ energy is, it's like a light to follow for me.
I love these questions tonight. I mean, I just really enjoy it. I think it's great to have these kind of conversations, because the truth is, so much of us weren't taught anything about any of this.
That's right.
We were just like, what, craving like some kind of spiritual teaching. And sure, it's supposed to, but it didn't. It didn't.
Spiritual sustenance is what we're after.
I mean,
it didn't make it relatable or something.
There's a lot of double standards and misunderstandings, and this is very in fashion now. And I found some really good teachers and read some really good books, and you find sometimes it just comes in front of you what works for you if you ask for it. So
we had to figure it out on our own, because it wasn't really formally offered anyway. Really,
And we do find teachers that resonate with us and books that resonate with us.
That's right.
But then you always have to be a little bit aware, and that everyone who gets to a point that they want to teach or whatever, they're calling on their own experience. And so a lot of people will get into that position and say, well, this is the way you do it. Well, no, that's the way you did it, and that's what worked for you.
Yeah.
And everybody can take that in and decide, well, I don't know, does that fit for me or not? But I think there are a lot of people who get into this and say, "Oh, there's one, my way or the highway." And no, there's
No.
if anything, it's
But-
like all
and,
the lilies of the field. There's so many
Of
different
how
ways.
this is one example of how to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of your own.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because
And
everybody's
a lot
different.
of us are like the good little students. We want to, this is me taking classes. No, there's no one magic.
The other thing that I said to Deb and Gerald on Deb had a show this morning, Deb H. Purple Elephant, and I said that we teach what it is that we most need to learn.
Yes.
And I think that we may teach it over and over again because we still haven't learned it, but until you never want to stop learning ever,
right?
Until you're taken. Life is just, because you can find new awareness throughout all of it. And really whatever we're drawn to is such a lesson for us.
As soon as you know it all, then there you are, Mr. Trump.
There you are. We know some folks that there they are. All right. Sweet and Salty wonders if we could have a message from Spirit.
So I'm seeing a cat. I'm seeing a cat that has some white in it. I see this cat coming up and rubbing you against the legs. A very familiar animal. I feel like it was a female cat. I think the cat belonged to somebody, a grandmother or somebody, a female, grandmother or female friend.
Okay.
And the cat to me represents the message is be like a cat, be curious, independent, and self-assured. And this woman that is with the cat, I'm getting wisdom, that you have wisdom or to pursue wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hearing.
For me, right away, my throat chakra lit up. So, that's speaker's truth and listen for other voices. But then it got to be more self-confidence too. Be confident. So I was asking, okay, so what's she supposed to be confident in speaking up about? And then my heart chakra just lit up. So it's be confident, trust in whatever you're feeling, and be open about it. Maybe it's at the Thanksgiving table coming up to be able to say, well, I understand that that's the way you feel, but I feel differently and here's what it is. Or I feel like we shouldn't be talking about politics. Let's talk about dogs or something like that. But to be confident and speak up about your feelings in a nice way, a polite way, and everything. And also in the expression, it's not just speaking; it's showing and how you can tell me, Spirit, how your feelings come out, how you demonstrate your love for other people, and that might be, just call to say I love you, or it could be sending somebody a card, or it could be making somebody their favorite dessert, or how do you tell someone you care? Think about that, and Spirit wants to emphasize that today. And I'm going to just pull one card for you, which is the hummingbird. Release what you've been carrying and lighten up, and new joy is on the way. So that's a good message for you too.
So I see that you don't have any cats. It could be a companion or a woman that you had that was a good friend. She might have had cats, or she might have been a good companion for you. But that's where the message is coming from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just I ask, but then I feel like maybe Spirit was giving me a message, but I'll tell you what, it's saying, don't give up the ship. There's more to be revealed. Everything hasn't come to the surface. Keep the faith. So that sounds like a message for me, but I don't know if you can relate to that too.
We all need it, Mark.
Yeah.
We all need that message.
Also drew a few cards, and it says, so I get the 3 of coins again, second time tonight, but these are my sparkly Christmas deck. I had to break them out. I love them. Behind the scenes, there's work going on with people that know more than I know. And even though there's still like some worry and fret happening, there's going to be some big change coming through. Like I feel like we're going to hear some kind of unexpected news or information. And in the end, being more at peace, the lovers, being more
wonderful,
feeling more comfortable with it or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Great. So I got retreat, and I got what Joan got, communication. But I get father. I don't know if your father's in spirit or your father is still walking the planet, but either way, there's some kind of a connection with father. Might be if he's alive for Halloween, for Thanksgiving. If not, maybe just, see if you can tap into the communication with him. He sounds like he has something he wants to work with you on. So.
And find a wise friend for wisdom and help.
Okay, so guys, we got about 4 minutes left, and so we got 3 more questions, just so you know. Mary Ellen, a message from Spirit.
Mary Ellen. For Mary Ellen, not for me, please, Spirit. We have no time.
I got right away seeing that you've been hurt emotionally. I saw a heart with 2 swords in it, and then they came out. So it's something hurt you, someone or something. There's an old heartache there, but that is being healed now. They're working on healing that. The swords came out, and they were kind of at odd angles. So I think that it might have been 2 different separate things. So Spirit, is there anything else that you want to say to Mary Ellen? And it went from a red heart to a pink, more sweet, loving softness. So I think you're moving toward maybe from a more difficult time to a time when things are a little easier and a little more just more light, more just easier for you. There's a healing coming. And the heart that I saw it turning into, the pink, was the pink of Thayer's scarf.
And it's funny because I saw the color purple, and right away I got mourning, loss, grief, a loss or a harm, just super quickly, and to take good care of yourself, and it will pass, and breathe through it. And everybody feels that way at one time, so you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'm hearing is that you might be a little out of sorts feeling or something, but I'm hearing that you're being affected by the moon that we just had, and that there's probably some little bit of residual, like for some reason, it really seems to have done a number on you, like bringing up emotions, and maybe some kind of conflict with the father figure or the patriarchy, but just feeling sort of at odds all of a sudden. But I'm feeling like it's the moon that's sort of making you out of balance a little bit, but that's going to pass. So if you have been feeling a little wonky, just know that it's more about that, and that's going to just pass along. That's all I'm hearing. Yep.
And I pulled a card for you. It's the owl. Follow your inner wisdom.
Wow, that's
You'll get
fabulous.
through it.
Joan, when you were talking with Sweet and Salty, you pulled a card, didn't you? That was the hummingbird. Was that
Yes.
her?
Mm-hmm.
She said hummingbirds remind her of her father, and I pulled the father. I know. I
don't love it.
So we gotta bounce there. We gotta bounce. That's great.
Good.
Yay!
Yay!
Touchdown!
I know it. Okay, so Mahendra Patel from Facebook, he said, we all go through experiences that shape our behavior. What is the best way to reset or go back to our real nature before we have emotional experiences? I love this. And I think if we had the real answer to this, we could make lots of money, Mahendra. Wow, it's a great question.
What I do when that happens is I'll do an energy cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't necessarily deny the experience or what I learned or what shaped me. I had a falling out with a friend a couple of months ago, which was very painful. And I did a cleansing. I did a reset. I tried to learn stuff about myself from it and show compassion to myself and my friend, and we're back being friends again, by the way. But it's not necessarily going back. It's releasing the pain or releasing the ego fog around it and moving through it in an easier way. And I mean, of course, when you're hurt, some of us want to strike back because it hurts. And I practice compassion, and I also allow myself to honor and feel that hurt and not push it away. So that's what I do. And I do energy cleansings. I do a lot of energy work on myself and the other person. And I practice compassion.
Wonderful.
It's funny, as you were saying that, I had written down before you started talking, don't go back, integrate it.
Yes.
Right.
And
ask, what's the lesson and what's the blessing?
Yeah.
So rather, to just kind of clear yourself and settle down and say, okay, that was interesting. What am I supposed to learn from this? How do I integrate this? And how do I learn from it and go forward? And then I pulled a card, and it's the hawk, which says, pay attention, a powerful message is being communicated to you now. So with all of this stuff that happens to us, there's a message in it. On the way down here, I was driving and I got in a car accident, one that I caused for the first time in my life since been driving since I was 16. And the message was, don't be listening to podcasts while you're driving.
Yeah, I know.
In a city you don't know at rush hour. And so that was the lesson. And the blessing was it happened in the United States before I went across the border to Mexico. So I was paying much closer attention the next day. And nobody got hurt. And I put the bumper back on with duct tape, and everything's going.
Yay, duct tape!
That's great.
I travel with the duct tape and WD-40.
Buy a roll of duct tape and you'll be fine. You can fix everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got the white stuff to go with my white car because I'm very classy
I
that
get
way.
it. I get it. Mark, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
I kind of agree that it's more about integrating it in, like we have the experiences we have because we chose them in one way or another. And so it's about learning from them, integrating them, and moving forward. You don't really want them to control your life, and then that's what you don't want to become your experiences,
True.
And just grab on and hold them. So it's always, I just drew one card, temperance. So it's really about balancing them, bringing them in, integrating them in, kind of like what you guys are saying, rather than trying to, erase them or act like they didn't happen or something like that.
Yeah.
And if you get lost, if you can't pull yourself out of it, get help. There's lots.
I get rest. I
Yeah.
love this. Then I get child. And I'm thinking that as children, we were emotionally attached, of course, to family and things that were said to us. And so to me, it's like go back to that space, and then I get river and cleanse it. So that's what I got out of it. So.
And there's lots of tools. I meant to say that if there is some emotional experience or some experience you had that just is really hard to let go of and you can't get beyond it, then there's all kinds of tools
Yeah.
to help you do that, like a counselor, or there's all kinds of things.
Of course. Yeah. Because this is for entertainment purposes.
Yeah. And when you're just, I know when I'm not trying to say that, but I just mean
Yeah.
there are ways to go, because it's very individual. Some things will work for some people and not for others. But, I always think it's really about intention and desire. So if you want to get beyond it, just intend it, and you'll find that thing which will help you move through it.
Absolutely. And yes, forgiveness is liberating.
Things happen for a reason. And if they happen over and over again, then you need to get help to figure out that you're not hearing the lessons been said. Yeah.
All right. So our last question of the evening is from dear Gina M. She's asked before about reconnecting to my dad. What's the best way? Phone, email, letter, carrier pigeon? Should she reach out to other family members?
Yeah, and her dad's on the earth.
Okay.
He's not.
It's funny that you said carrier pigeon. Right away, I saw a bird, and then it was the dove of peace that has the olive branch. So I think that kind of means go ahead, whatever way you do it, to be the person to make the first move, to say let's try again, or whatever. And let's see, I'm pulling a card for you. Oh, the white swan, the power of divine grace is within you, that this is a beautiful thing that you're doing to reach out somehow and kind of offer this opportunity to him. Okay, Spirit. If somebody else can go, I'll try and get a little bit more specific about the mode.
When Joan said heart, that, reaching out with a heart is always the first and most honest way to reach out. And perhaps you might want to reach out with your heart where you write the letter. It's all how you feel. You don't necessarily have to send it, but I think having that heartfelt reaching out is a great way to open up the portal, open up the issue, and take a couple of days and then go back and reread the letter after you've had a little break from it, and see if you can, whatever way you reach out, is that the expectation of what you're going to get back is you have to have no expectation in a way that it's got to be something that you want to say, that you want to get off your chest, and that you're comfortable with no response or negative response, that this is for you, for you. It's very difficult. It's very brave. I always reach out with a heart first. Because I want to be true to myself and true to my feelings. Perhaps you might need somebody in the family to help you with it, or sit with you with it, to help ground you. So if something does hurt on the way back, you've got somebody's hand to hold. But if you're feeling drawn to do it, I would follow that energy and see what kind of doors it opens. And I think the answer will come to you.
And maybe start with just asking your guides or your spirit team to go check in with his guides and spirit team, and make a way where there is no way, and just if that's possible. Just kind of start out on the energetic level, and then, as Thayer said, maybe put it in writing and go from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this card agrees with what Joan just said, and there's two things that come from this. So this is the High Priestess, but that to me is like a intermediary or a go-between, but also it's like, let's spiritually prepare. So, you can imagine that your spirits are greeting one another after a long time, just like what Joan said. But also, I'm also getting that there could be a family member that you reach out to first, like before you get to him.
I get female.
Yeah.
Female. Yeah.
Like there's sort of an intermediary or a first you reach out. But Gina, I know you've been sitting on this for a while. Here you are, the Knight of Pentacles, ready to go, got the action in your hand, been wondering, I want to do it. So it's been on your mind. I'm going to say it's getting time to give that horse a little giddy up and get to going with your plan, because then you get the Ace of Wands. It's inspiration. You've been inspired to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to talk to a family member first, but then you're thinking about your cousin Lisa, right, Gina?
Go with them.
To take the action with Dad, and this kind of looks like a pencil in writing. So you might write if that's comfortable for you first before phoning. It just depends on what you think. But the end result is the two of Cups, or like the Lovers. It's going to be well received. You're going to be so happy you did it. You do have to be the Knight. Like it is going to come from you. But I think it's going to be very well received, and I feel like you're going to be happy you did it.
I like that Ace of Wands, a potential new beginning there.
I get a butterfly, Gina, which is expect changes and new beginnings. And so I'm seeing that. And look, you've graduated, leveled up spiritually. So you're ready to do this. But yes, you need to contact a female first. And if that's your cousin Lisa, that's fine. But I totally agree with what Mark came up with the High Priestess, that this person you can sort of, bounce ideas off of before you make a decision about what it is you want to write. Yeah.
Wow.
Get it all out.
Right.
That was beautiful.
Get all the emotion out first. Then sort of.
Yeah. Don't send it by email, because you tend to hit that button and wish you didn't.
Yeah.
And so it's better, I think, handwriting.
The handwriting.
Really do. Yeah.
That will get the emotion out on the paper. That will bring
and
it
then
out of your body on the outside, and that will help you figure out what you want to say and how you want to say it. And I'm getting you need another person to hold your hand
or just a comrade. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, thank you to all my wonderful readers here today. Yeah. Thank you very much for all the people that came in and asked the questions, and we had some great conversations today. Thank you so much. And the moderators and everybody. We really love you guys. Thank you so much. Tomorrow I'm going to be on with Linda G. and Andre Cower, the astrologer. We're going to talk about 11/11, and it's a very big day for manifesting. So come and see us at noon. And in the meantime, everybody, take really good care of yourselves and remember how much we love you. Take care.
Yeah,
bye, everyone. Be well.
Bye, everybody.